Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Israel on alert as Iran launches drones, ballistic missiles toward the Jewish state. The IDF, which is the Defense Forces of Israel, said Saturday that Iran launched drones and ballistic missiles toward Israel weeks after a deadly strike on the Iranian consulate in Syria. Now, the difference is this time, it's up to 200 missiles and drones now. It came from Iranian soil. It didn't come from a proxy government. It didn't come from another country or a terrorist group that Iran was funding. They launched them from their own territory. And there's going to be hell to pay. They kicked the hornet's nest. You F around, you find out what happens. Let's listen to the Israel Defense Rear Admiral here.
Iran has launched a direct attack from Iranian soil towards the state of Israel. We are closely monitoring Iranian killer drones that are en route to Israel sent by Iran. This is a severe and dangerous escalation. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are at the highest level of readiness ahead of this large-scale attack from Iran. Together with our partners, the Israel Defense Forces is operating at full force to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel. This is a mission that we are determined and ready to fulfill. I will keep on updating you. Thank you.
Short and sweet. I guess he's known for that, doing his press conferences. U.S. officials tell Fox News the U.S. military is continuing to shoot down Iranian drones that are headed toward Israel. U.S. forces in the region continue to shoot down Iranian-launched drones targeting Israel. Our forces remain postured to provide additional defensive support and to protect U.S. forces operating in the region, said a U.S. military official. They launched over 100 drones, ballistic missiles. This is what is really rich here. UN Secretary General condemns Iranian missile attack on Israel. That's really rich coming from the UN Secretary General because the UN has condemned Israel, what did they say, over 50-something times? I know they condemned Iran twice. I strongly condemn the serious escalation represented by a large-scale attack. Yeah. I'm deeply alarmed. You know, how does that go with the adults and Charlie Brown? Wah, 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 wah. Neither the region nor the world can afford another war. I'll tell you the truth. Where do you think the Iranians got the money from? Let's tell the truth here. When Trump was president, they were basically broke. They couldn't sell their oil on the open market, or very little of it. And all of a sudden now, they have tens of billions of dollars. What a coincidence. You think these armaments are cheap? And they're buying them probably from the Russians, the Chinese, and they're paying big money. Shows a picture of an Iranian-made unmanned aerial vehicle. Of course, they're going to show it on display like the old days, the old Soviet Union, when they used to have May Day parades with all their missiles going down through the parade. The attack marked the first time Iran has launched a full-scale assault on Israel despite more than 4 decades of hostilities. The first time it came from Iranian soil. This is a huge deal. My understanding, there was some minor, all these almost 200 drones and missiles fired. One hit a military base and injured a 10-year-old girl. Thank God, not seriously. Iran's mission in the United Nations argued that the country's missiles and drones fired toward Israel were justified, warning the U.S. to stay away. There's a conflict between Iran and the rogue Israeli regime, from which the U.S. must stay away. Iran mission in the United Nations said in a statement. Now think about this for a minute. They're comparing the failures of the Biden administration. The last president to fail this badly was Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy Carter's bumbling in Iran caused the fundamentalists in Iran to take over, and they're still in power today. So people that screw up, especially our leaders and the president, the executive, makes mistakes that are felt 40 years later. It's amazing to me. Iran missile intercepted over Jerusalem, and it shows it. Advanced air systems protect Israel from the attacks. Prime Minister Netanyahu said Israel had for weeks been preparing for the possibility of a direct attack from Iran. And I'll tell you, Mossad and their intelligence services are some of the best, if the not best, in the world. Yes, they dropped the ball on October 7th when Israel was attacked by Hamas. They dropped the ball badly. And I'll tell you the truth, one thing's the Israelis, they will not make that mistake again. It's the first time Iran has launched something from their own soil. It's like the United States, they always use proxies. Lawmakers sent message to the White House on impending Iranian drone attack to Israel, stand firm. Yeah, we're going to have to see what happens here. Israel is going to retaliate. Not in kind, probably 5-10 times more. Lawmakers reacted after Iran launched drones from its own territory, first time, toward Israel late Saturday. It's already too late. They've allowed them to get billions of dollars. It's amazing to me. You think these weapons are cheap? Speaker Mike Johnson pledged America's full resolve to stand with Israel. The world must be assured Israel is not alone. Now, this is the box Biden put himself in. The base of his party, the progressives, are very anti-Israel. And he's bleeding support in the upcoming presidential election. But he can't turn his back on Israel. So he's got to play both sides of the street. And to tell you the truth, the White House and all its people and Biden just aren't smart enough to try to play everything evenly. I will continue to engage the White House to insist upon a proper response, he said. The Israelis will have a proper response, believe me. You want to find out? F around and find out. F around and find out. The Israelis have never been attacked by Iran with missiles, drones from the Iranian soil. This is the first time ever. And supposedly it's for retaliation because Israel destroyed Iranian embassy in Syria, killing a very high commander in their military. And Israel is our ally. Iran has encircled Israel and has been attacking Israeli allies for almost every front for months. They have launched attacks from Syria, Iraq, Yemen, the West Bank, Hezbollah-controlled Lebanon, and, of course, Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip. Now they have escalated by launching attacks directly from Iranian territory. They didn't go to their proxies this time. I don't know why. I think it was an incredible blunder on their part. Iran's drone strikes show us President Biden's approach to Iran and the Middle East is backwards. Now we risk getting World War III. The U.S. must stand by Israel's commitment to democracy. The president must stand firm and stop coddling Iran immediately. Well, that's true, but it's kind of too late. You allowed them to get billions of dollars. Remember the huge pallet of money that Barack Obama sent them? Remember that one? It's amazing. Enough is enough. The Biden administration must take concrete steps to support Israel. And it goes on like that. Iran just launched drone strikes at innocent Israeli civilians. This is a direct result of Joe Biden's lack of leadership. I couldn't agree more. So what else should be standing resolutely with Israel? Instead, they spent months kissing up to the terrorist regime in Tehran to appease a few. We could pretty much figure out what he's going to say on the rest of it. The base of his party, the progressives. And we'll say this is kind of the same thing over and over with the support of Israel. It's incredible to me. Now the Democrats have to fish or cut bait here in a presidential year. They're going to have to say, we are behind Israel 100%. And if you remember, not too long ago, it was like a week, 10 days ago, Joe Biden made an announcement calling for the removal of the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu in the middle of a war to appease his base. who's anti-Israel. And now Israel's being attacked by over 200 drones and ballistic missiles. Actually calling for the removal of the prime minister in the middle of a conflict just to appease his base. You don't think that for a minute the Iranians saw that and saw it as weakness in the Americans' part, and especially the executive? We all know, even the ones that are Trump derangement syndrome cult members, this would not have happened. Hamas never would have attacked Israel like it did on October 7th, and this wouldn't be happening if Trump was president. There's no speculation about it. It's not a guess. It's a sure thing is the world is round and not flat. It's just a statement of fact. Do you think for a minute that Russia would have invaded Ukraine if Trump was president? These are facts that you Democrats, you 35, 38, 39% that approve of Joe Biden are going to have to get in your thick skulls. Instead of putting your fingers in your ears and going, la, 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 you have to pay attention. This could escalate quickly, depending on what the Israelis do, and they will retaliate. Not in kind, but 10 times probably more. And the Iranians don't have the Iron Dome and the technology to stop these weapons, at least not to my knowledge. It's never been talked about. I've never seen articles talking about it. They will retaliate. They will fight for their survival, and they have for a very long time. The Israeli people have mandatory military service. Mandatory. Men and women. They're serious people when it comes to defending their country. And now Iran has finally launched missiles and drones from their own soil at Israel. It's never happened before. Must be the hardliners in Tehran and Iran finally said, let's just do it. Instead of moving the missiles and the drones to a proxy country, they said to hell with it. They want to escalate this. They're hoping they can separate Israel from the United States and Europe. And I'll tell you the truth, the UN and the NATO countries in Europe have been against Israel for a long time. We're going to have to see what happens. What will Biden do? It may be too late for America to interfere as far as helping Israel. Biden will probably do what he can just to show that, but at the same time, condemn them for all the lives being lost. He's in an impossible situation, and I don't feel bad for him because he created this situation. You can't complain how tough it is when you are the fault, when you are the one that caused this. 10 days ago, asked for the removal of the Israeli prime minister in the middle of a war. I mean, that's a special, that kind of stupid is a miracle in itself. We'll see what's going to go on the next few days. It's a 7-hour difference between Washington, D.C. and Israel. And until next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.